All right, we'll call us back in session. We'll have our deputy clerk swear everyone in that's going to participate in a 10 o'clock hearing.
If you'll be speaking prayers, if you'll please stand and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that any testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
So under Idaho Code 63501, the Board of County Commissioners are required to convene as the Board of Equalization. We are here to determine market value under Idaho Code 63205, which states that all real, personal, and operating property subject to property taxation must be assessed annually at market value for assessment purposes as of 12:01 a.m. of the first day of January of the year in which such property taxes are levied. Furthermore, under Idaho Code 63502, the function of the Board of Equalization shall be confined strictly to assuring that the market value for assessment purposes of property has been found by the assessor, and to the functions provided for in Chapter 6, Title 63, Idaho Code relating to exemptions from taxation. The taxpayer shall have the burden of proof in seeking affirmative relief to establish that the determination of the assessor is erroneous. A preponderance of the evidence shall suffice to sustain the burden of proof. We are here to discuss the market value of the property, the condition, the state, or information that is relevant to this topic. This is fact and not opinion. We are not here to discuss taxes, past grievances, policy, personal income, or other issues. If you do not stick to the discussion as requested, your time will be reclaimed. The process. You'll be given 3 minutes. This yellow light will come on. When you got 1 minute left, the yellow white light comes on, your 3 minutes will begin. When the yellow light comes on, you have 1 minute left. When the red light goes off, your time's up and you're done.
Okay.
Then we'll answer questions from the assessor directed towards the board, and then the assessor's table will be given 3 minutes. We'll answer questions from the appellant, and then we'll have conversation as the board. The rules: be kind, direct all questions or comments to the board. If your conduct is out of line, you will be warned. If your conduct continues to be out of line, you will be asked to leave, or you will be escorted out of the building by the marshals. Please state your name and your 3 minutes will begin.
So, my name is Daniel Wagner, and I'm here on behalf of parcel number RPR 401-3049-518, and I'm just going to read you the letter that I had sent you for my appeal. And I am not appealing the line item of the residential improvement. My appeal is for land assessment only. I have 2.64 acres, and I do acknowledge I have an equal tax obligation for the first acre on which my home sits. The remaining 1.64 acres are not usable, nor would I be able to build on them due to Bannock County Zoning Ordinance 1998-1, Section 320 Residential Rural District. Subtracting out my first assessed acre, I feel the remaining 1.64 acres should be assessed equally to the adjoining parcels numbered RPRR DVR 00700, RPRR DV 2000100, and RPRR DV 2000800, which have an assessed land value of $0. Along with the adjoining properties, I have listed below a few properties within 1 mile of my home, all of which have assessed at a land value of $0. So my argument is that the open space on my property, which means that I cannot build or do anything with, should be assessed at a $0 amount. Where my house sits should be assessed in full.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Questions?
No.
Your 3 minutes begin now.
I'm not showing his legal description showing open space, but the 3 parcels that he named off are open space common area, and they are HOA owned or
Point of clarification, do you know who owns them?
Deer Valley, Hollow, whatever.
Is it a development group or is it a HOA?
I can look them up real quick. I have them pulled up just a minute. Let me pull it back up. It is
Over there, if I may, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Deer Valley Reserve HOA.
Okay. Are you a member of that HOA?
No.
Okay.
So
So you live outside the HOA. Question for you. What's the definition of open space? Under the same subdivision ordinance that you referenced earlier dealing with the division of land, it's in there. Have you read that?
Yeah, I don't have that with me, what the definition of the open space means, but I know what the technicalities mean for me. The only thing I can put on it is trees.
Okay, so do you have open space on your property as per ordinance in the county?
Yes.
No, you don't. So you're required under section 300 of that code, you have to have a specific amount of land to be able to have the building right or division right. So the argument you're making, and this is the fourth one that we've seen up there, so you guys all probably got together and had a conversation about it, and that's fine, and I wish you all would have just come together, it would have saved everybody's time. Your definition of open space is incorrect. Open space is owned by, in section 400, specifically to make sure that privacy is done to where it improves your land value and what you have. Open space is a deed restriction, is to where you can never do anything with it. Those lots that are referenced, they're actually, your argument's correct that yes, they need to be taxed and that homeowners association needs to pay tax on them. They're for the general good of the public, they may be farmed, they be whatever. But the open space that you're referenced and the definition that you have is not the same as what you're arguing here. You still have property right to that. When you bought that piece of property, that property right was given a division right, a building right, because it was divided under this ordinance, which required open space, 50% open space in those divisions. Your lot specifically in those divisions had to follow an open space guideline and requirement. So you have intrinsic value of your lot because you have more space. That is not open space. Open space is to encourage the migration and movement of wildlife, to preserve privacy and a bunch of other stuff. So you're correct. They need to be assessed value, and we've already addressed that. These same parcels, which you've indicated here, we've had this conversation 3 times now.
Mm-hmm.
We will go through, and they will be assessed a value, and that is an error that needs to be corrected. But your house is not an open space requirement. You don't have a deed restriction that's set in place. And so that's why I say that's not a valid argument for that.
Well, so I'm not a part of Deer Valley, but
it doesn't matter.
In my contract when I purchased the house, it has it drawn out to where I can't build or do anything on this part.
And that's fine. You got your building right because you needed to have 2.7 acres in a subdivision in Bannock County. You are required to follow the subdivision ordinance, and you are required to have that amount of property. When you purchased it, that's what you purchased. That ground is still there. And furthermore, 2.7 acres, the predominant value of the acreage is in your first acre of a building site. So if you have 2.7 acres or 2.3 acres, your 100 and whatever thousand, whatever the 119,000 is in the first acre. Well, you'd have 115,000 in the first acre and